Workplace Futures 2013 took place on the 12th of February at the Crystal Siemens building in London's Docklands. Its theme was Strategic Partnership, Securing the Future for FM, and throughout the day a number of issues were raised by speakers and delegates alike on some recurring themes. We spoke to a few of them to get their thoughts and opinions.
The ability to manage data and analyse data, that came out very strongly today. I think if you can get on top of your technology, that will also give you a real competitive advantage. And I was at a meeting recently where we were talking to a service provider. A lot of the value that they were able to deliver was through creating an app that people managing a building would give them real-time information. So if you actually think about what we all do and what facilities managers and FM service providers do, you don't think of yourself as a technology company necessarily, but technology I think is going to be really vital.
I think, if you take a look at every teenager today, with so many with smartphones or ability to access the web, such great access to social media, we don't have all of that at work in a very easy way. Corporate systems tend to be more clunky, tends to be more controlled, therefore we're always going to be behind. Therefore what we have to work out in the next 5 years is how do we make sure that that technology is fit for purpose with our young people. Generation Y expect and should have something different.
There are some enormous changes coming, and I think you'll see a change in the whole IT landscape out there in terms of the supplier side, because you've got cloud, so where previously you had your own data center, you don't need it anymore, it's off in the cloud somewhere. You've got bring your own device, so I can decide whether I'm using an iPad or a smartphone or whatever I want to use to access my material. And then you've got the challenges of how you keep all of that secure, but advances in cybersecurity and so on. So I think those three things kind of coming together will change both the IT supply landscape and how we use it at work.
More people need to actually face up to IT being a dirty word these days, and it's had a lack of investment, a lack of funding, and people don't see value in it. And really what today's about for us is actually showing that if you do get investment, there is a lot of return that you will get on that, and you can change perceptions.
Yeah, from our perspective, we know what technology can be. Apart from the personal consumer experience where technology is seamless, integrated, it's just a part of your everyday life. We know it can be that for business, and we're looking to show people how to apply it. Securitas have been at the forefront of that change and helping us, reinvigorate the sector around what you could do, not what you are doing, and as John said, knock some of these sort of staid old ideas around what technology is and has been, and change it for what the future holds.
I think, it's not something I heard today, but something that's been re-established. Some of the things that Tim Oldman was saying from the Leesman Index about how facilities management can really make better use of data. And his service is a classic example of how you can bring together data which can help facilities management people to make better decisions. And I think we really need to see more of that because, as a number of people have said today, there is a lot of data out there. There's more and more data available to us all the time. Putting that together into a format that can help with decision making is part of professionalising our industry, and it's something that's definitely come of its time.
Very, very few organisations understand what it means to manage a business relationship. And the FM world, you probably find the closest relationships in any sector, mainly because the facilities management organisations are under the same roof as their customers and integrated almost with their businesses.
I think we need to have a seat at the client table as early as possible in the procurement process to bring those learnings and try and influence the outputs that the client requires at that early stage. I think the real danger is that sort of parent-child relationship between client and service provider that's not founded on trust and mutual respect. I think commoditizes the industry a little and doesn't get the maximum value out of it. I think we hold a number of the levers in the industry that make a place great to work or not. So I think the connection between the FM profession and the human resources profession, for example, needs to get closer within client organisations. So quite apart from the whole real estate functionality, understanding that we hugely influence the working environment from the perspective and experience of the consumer, I think is very important in the battle for talent, in the battle to retain people, and indeed in the battle to engage our own workforces.
Well, I think what we've looked at in particular is the relationships both up into the corporate organisation and left and right into the other corporate functions. And what we're particularly interested in doing is testing how we can effectively build those relationships between facilities management and other corporate functions like HR, IT, and business units themselves. There's been a huge amount of development over the last 20 or so years in facilities management and making that more professional and more developed in terms of its capability. I think now is a good opportunity to raise the bar, as the study suggests, to start to build better links with the effectiveness of organisations and how FM can contribute to that.
I think there should be some sort of body which works with the government, with large corporations to help promote FM. Most groups or verticals in the UK have industry lobby groups, and that would really help, I think, bring FM up the agenda. At the moment, it seems that FM's happy to sit in the background and just provide support, rather than that strategic, real drive to add value, help people save money, and help the economy grow again.
There's very few people choose to be an FM traditionally. You don't grow up thinking I'm going to be an FM. I certainly didn't. A lot of people end up there, and I guess the sad part about it was traditionally in some big corporates, FM was the Siberia. If you'd slipped up or dirtied your bib in core business, you ended up in facilities management. I think the size of the industry nowadays, the complexity of the contracts, and the required competence, as you say, means that we're attracting new and diverse types of people into the industry now. These are complex, big, multinational contracts with a huge level of client interaction, diversity and challenges. And I think for the first time we're seeing all kinds of new people coming into the industry, which is really exciting. In terms of competency framework, certainly I think it's about professionalising the industry. I think it's purported to be a profession. I certainly can't find it when I'm trying to select my job type or industry within an insurance firm, for example. But to truly have it as a recognised profession, I think we need to put those sorts of things in place.
You know, you can go and ask any child at sort of 12, 13, 14 years of age when they're choosing their options, what do you want to be when you leave school? And you'll hear things like, I want to be a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, an accountant, a lawyer, all those kind of things, because they're very established professions. You won't hear them say, I want to be a facilities manager. And that's what we need to change. And one way of doing that is by educating young people what FM is all about, and then creating those structured pathways through education in schools. And that's one of the things that we're doing as a professional body, is creating that pathway through education. So making sure that we have the courses and the education embedded in the education framework from school age all the way through as far as people want to take it in their careers. You know, whether that's a degree or a master's degree or other stuff beyond that, then that's one of the things that we need to do. It's not a 5-minute fix. It will take time before you can ask a 12, 13-year-old, what do you want to do when you leave school? And they say facilities manager, but I'm not going to rest until they do.